Hi everybody, Phil Boyle, the Big Geek with Geek Omelette, and today's video is the first in a series of videos that I'm calling the Microphone Blacklist. This is a list of microphones that I would strongly urge you not buy used. And if you do buy them, well, there are some rules you should follow. I'm going to organize these videos by brand, and today is Shure. So the following Shure microphones, in my opinion, you should not buy used. Now, I talk about counterfeit microphones on the Clay Allen Review on our bi-weekly broadcast. And if you want to check out any of those videos, please check the link down below. And granted, me saying don't buy these used is a strong statement. Ultimately, you have to make that decision. Certainly, I've bought microphones used. But the reality is these model numbers that I'm talking about in these videos are mass copied. And they're not just crappy copies. They're actually really good looking copies with packaging that is almost identical to the manufacturers, right down to the warning stickers and links to manufacturers' warning websites. There are so many good microphones that you don't have to risk buying a fake one that I feel pretty comfortable saying, don't buy these microphones used. All right. If you disagree with me, hey, leave me a comment, let me know, talk to me, tell me why I'm wrong. This is my opinion. I'm not looking to piss anybody off, but it's so easy to get burned. And there are so many good microphones you can buy that currently aren't being copied, aren't being counterfeited. So don't disappoint yourself. Don't buy a gift for someone and have them find out that it's a fake. Just don't. That's my opinion. All right, let's get into it. The Shure microphone blacklist. Mic number one that you should not buy used. The Shure SM57. The SM57 it's a classic. It's a staple of currently, instrument microphones, but people use it for all kinds of things. Bottom line is this is one of the most copied microphones out there, and they do a really good job faking it. You can not only buy fake SM57s, you have to worry about buying refurbished. Maybe it's a legitimate SM57 that the capsule blew, and the person decided not to spring the money for a genuine Shure replacement capsule, and they just replaced the capsule with a fake one off of AliExpress. So the SM57, that's on the no-buy list. The second microphone on this list is the SM58. The SM58 is an amazing vocal microphone, but it is also one of the most counterfeited microphones in the world. Don't buy it used. I actually purchased a used one of these, and I worked with Shure. I sent them detailed photo after photo after photos in 2 rounds. And in the end, Shure could not say to me, we think this is a copy or we think this is real. Look, it wasn't worth the $40 that I saved to have a microphone that I don't know if it's real or not. Yeah, I know some people are going to say, hey, if it sounds good, it sounds good. That's fine. But I also don't like putting money into the hands of people, one, that'll sell a counterfeit microphone, or two, into the hands of the counterfeiters. There's just no reason. So the Shure SM58 is the next microphone on my blacklist of do not buy used. The next microphone is a classic. This one is the precursor to the SM58, and that's the 565 SD. You can buy these right now. They've got a reissued version of these, legitimate, that you can buy on legitimate Shure resellers like Guitar Center or Musician's Friend. These sell for around $109, just like the SM58. They're a very interesting microphone. But would I buy one used? Well, no, not unless it had the box and the serial number. And frankly, I'd want the serial number before I made a purchase, because who wants to go through the trouble of having to contact the manufacturer, engage with them, send them photos? Will you have enough time? Okay, maybe if you bought it on eBay, yes. But if you bought it on a website like Mercari, or you bought it on a website like OfferUp, no, your return period or your period to dispute the sale is much shorter, in some cases as small as 2 days. So no, don't buy this microphone used. The next microphone on the blacklist is the PGA 81. This is a common mic used for overheads, for drums, for cymbals, for snares. It's a nice microphone, but it's highly counterfeited. So I would not buy this microphone used. Avoid it. It's just not worth it. The next microphone on the list is the Shure Beta 57. This is the Beta 57A, but honestly, there are multiple Beta 57 fakes that are out there because there's more than the Beta 57A. So the Beta 57A, it's the next mic on my do not buy list. All right, let's keep on going here. The Shure Beta 58A. This is another microphone I would not buy used. You know, one of the ways the manufacturers could fix these problems is if they actually put unique identifying marks on the products. But the manufacturer has to be willing to do that. To be quite candid, when I do my Sennheiser version of this video, I think you're going to be shocked to learn that Sennheiser doesn't even have a microphone registration portal, like they're doing you some kind of favor. It's actually quite disappointing. But, you know, again, the manufacturers like Shure only put serial numbers for a large part on the boxes of microphones. So if you're buying a used microphone, make sure it has a box, but again, up front, ask if you can have the serial number. There's no reason that a seller could not give you the serial number for you to check the validity of the microphone. At least in the case of a Shure, because at least Shure has a registration portal and they will engage with you. All right, the next microphone on the list, do not buy used, is the Beta 87A. There's actually multiple versions of this microphone too. I think there's a Beta 87B or C, but don't buy it. Not used, not unless you have a box, not unless you have a serial number, and you're willing to go through the process of trying to figure out if indeed that microphone is real. All right, the next one on the list is a newer Shure microphone. It's the Nexadyne 8S. Yes, this is a new microphone from Shure. It's a new series, and it's already being counterfeited out of multiple factories around the world, primarily China, but multiple factories around the world. So if you're buying this one used, don't do it. And if you do, make sure that you have access to a serial number that you can confirm. And even then, remember, these microphones break. So somebody could put a different capsule inside of it. Buying a used microphone is a risky proposition no matter what. I'm not saying don't do it. I've bought plenty of used microphones. But here's the thing. If you need to buy used microphones, we live in really amazing times. The fact is that there are a lot of quality microphones from quality brands that are not currently being counterfeited. So buy one of those and, then you don't got to worry about it. But check back often because those counterfeiters, they move quick. All right, let's take a look at the next one on our list. This is actually a discontinued microphone. This is the Shure MV7. Now, the thing is the MV7 is still one of the most popularly counterfeited microphones out there. You can find it all over the place. And just because it's discontinued, if you're buying a used microphone, nobody cares about discontinued. So the MV7, for that reason, it's on my list. There are so many copies of it out there. Avoid it. And, keep in mind, these microphones do not perform like the originals. They don't even perform consistently from microphone to microphone. Because do you think counterfeiters care about manufacturing quality or consistency of manufacture? No. They're building these things for pennies and selling them for huge amounts of money. All right, so let's go to the next microphone on the list. It is also in the MV7 series. This is the MV7X. Yep, don't do it. This is a microphone whose serial number is located on the box. I guess if you're going to buy one of these, ask the seller for a serial number, try and confirm with Shure. But I'd spend my money on something else if I were you. And that leads to the next microphone, the MV7 Plus. This is a real shame because this is an expensive microphone. This thing sells for $269 every day. And it is mass copied all over the place. I've even read articles online where these microphones that have USB interfaces and use the Shure Motive Mix software, there are reports on Reddit and different forums where people bought a counterfeit and they were actually able to install the Motive Mix software, have it identify it. In one case, I even read about a guy who was actually able to register it. So there's no guarantees here, folks, except for buying from an authorized reseller that has a liberal return policy that gives you the time to confirm that the microphone is valid. All right, let's go to the next microphone on the list. We're getting close to the end. This is the Shure KSM8, another newer microphone. It just breaks my heart to see this. Yeah, don't buy a KSM8. This is not used, because this is another example where the outside of the microphone is a really decent copy. The packaging is a really decent copy, but when you pop the head basket on the microphone, generally the capsule on the inside, it's obviously not a Shure capsule. Now, I mention that because when you open up fake Shure SM57s and 58s and other models, they at least try and copy the capsule. In this case, the copies that I've seen, the counterfeits that I've seen, they're just using a generic Chinese capsule that you can buy every day for like $2, $3 a capsule. So avoid it. Avoid it like the plague. It's not one to buy used. You can spend your hard-earned money on something else. All right, so the next blacklist used microphone, do not buy it used, is the Shure SM81. Again, this is a microphone heavily counterfeited. Don't risk it. And if you do, make sure you get a serial number and you know what the return policy is. All right, we're getting down to the last two. Boy, this is a microphone that makes me incredibly sad. This is the Shure SM7B. This is probably, if it's not the SM57 or 58, this is also one of the top counterfeited microphones out there. It's a very popular microphone. If you're a YouTuber or you're a podcaster, you see the SM7 all over the place. And it adds a certain amount of cachet that you've got one in front of you. But I'm telling you, a fake is not the real thing. Now, this is part of a series of videos I'm creating. This is a fake SM7B. You can buy these right now. It's Black Friday for around $40-ish on AliExpress. This does not sound like an SM7B. It does not perform like an SM7B. It is not an SM7B. Don't buy it. And the last microphone on the Shure blacklist is the big brother to the SM7B with the built-in cloud lifter. This is the SM7DB. That's right, the SM7DB. Don't buy it used. Again, this is a microphone where the serial number is on the box. This is a $499 microphone. Why Shure can't put a serial number on these products? Is it Shure's fault that they're being counterfeited? No. Shure could fix this just by putting a unique serial number on the product. They wouldn't be the first manufacturer to do it. Now, Shure is not the worst offender for sure, pun intended. There are other microphone manufacturers that don't even give you the ability to register your microphone. They don't make any money when you buy a used one. They want you to buy a new one. I get it. But there's a balance between taking care of your customer, right? Taking simple steps to take care of your customer and looking after your bottom line. Putting serial numbers on the individual products is a minimal increase in cost. Hell, Shure's just raised the prices of their microphones 10% across the board this past year. So put unique identifying marks on the microphones, unique serial numbers on the microphones, and that's going to go a long way to taking care of your customers. All right, that's it. This is the first of the blacklist videos. I'm going to go by brand, so please come back and check for my other blacklist do not buy used videos. And remember, if you do buy used, make sure you can get a serial number and you're buying a brand from a microphone brand that actually allows you to register it and find out. It doesn't require you to send it in at your own cost just to find out if the microphone you got is real or not. Because remember, on some of those brands that don't actually have a registration portal, and again, Shure at least does have a registration portal, even a new microphone, how do you know if it's real other than I bought it from a legitimate manufacturer or a legitimate reseller? And frankly, how do you even know then? Because times are tough and inventory comes from a lot of places. I mean, you know, I've read plenty of reports online where people bought microphones from legitimate resellers only to find out that is not real. Don't let that happen to you. Okay, that's it. I'm Phil, the Big Geek. If you like this video and you got some value from it, please like, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and go create. All right, take care.